This is topic B on page 7, controlling cell layout.
You have sorted the data in a table. Some of the data in a column might apply to multiple rows of data. You could leave the redundant information in each row, or you could combine those redundant cells into a single cell to make the data more readable. By controlling the cell layout, you can change the shape and arrangement of the cells without the table and change the direction the text flows within cells. So first we're going to take a look at cell merging. Cell merging combines multiple adjacent cells into a single cell that is the size and shape of the original multiple cells. You can combine cells from rows, columns, or both. If you take a look at figure 1-2 in your textbook on page 9, you
That's
can see
page
the different
7.
options of merged cells. The top left shows cells merged from 2 columns and 3 rows. You can see they're all merged to form one very large cell. All the way towards the right, you can see cells merged from 5 rows to create one cell. So 5 rows within a single column. And then all the way in on the bottom row, you can see cells merged from 5 columns to create one individual cell. So it's kind of like the whole entire row at the bottom of 5 cells is merged to create one single solitary cell. So merging cells is useful when you want to add a title that goes across all the rows in a table, or when you have sorted data and want the common information listed just once for the grouping where it applies. So I'm going to show you some examples of cell merging. First, we have our table here: project manager, project number, land cost, construction cost, total cost. Maybe I want to include a heading spanning across the top of my whole entire table. I'm going to click into anywhere in the first row of my table. On my Table Tools Layout Contextual tab, in my Rows and Columns command group, I'm going to select the command button for Insert above. So you can see that inserts an empty row at the top, still 5 columns. Now I want my heading to span across all 5 of the columns. So I can click and drag to select this whole entire row again. And on my Table Tools Layout Contextual tab, in my Merge group, here I have the option to merge these cells all into one. So all I have to do is single click this command button. Look at that. Now I have one cell. So if I wanted my heading of I don't know, we'll do construction project. So you can see now it spans across the whole thing. I don't have to have it, left aligned in one single cell over here or here or here or here or here. I can span it across, and then I can play with my alignment. You have your alignment options in your alignment group. Remember, you have all 9 of these. Align top left, top center, top right, middle, center left, center right, bottom left, bottom center, bottom right. Now that's when, the vertical alignment only matters when the cell is very large vertically. We can just do center. You can align that to the left, to the right, so whatever you want to do. But that is considered one single solitary cell now. Now, the same way you merge them together, you can always go back and split them as well. So with the cell selected, right next to that you have the split cells command, and you would signify how many number of columns you want. Well, we want to go back to 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can choose how many rows. Well, we want to just go back to 1. Now, just a heads up, splitting cells can, get messy at times, because once you merge them together, it's not automatically going to split exactly how you like them. I don't know if this one will work out, and it doesn't. You can see, look at the cell division here. It doesn't line up with the column. So you have to click and drag to align those correctly again. So be very careful when you're splitting cells because, again, it's not automatically going to line up those dividing cells exactly how you want them. So again, your title spanning across the top of the table is one example of why you would want to merge multiple cells together. Another, look at our project manager column here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 project managers. But it's a lot of repetition here. There's really no reason to list Cynthia Price 3 times, Martha Rodriguez 4, Scott 4, Timothy 4, and Wayne 4. We can just have, especially since the table is sorted, grouping them together, no reason to list them multiple times. So let's do Cynthia Price, for instance. If I select these 3 cells with Cynthia's name, I go up to my Table Tools Layout Contextual tab, Merge Command Group, and merge those cells. Now I have one very large cell with Cynthia's name listed 3 times. I can go ahead, select the second and third listing of her name, delete them. Now I have Cynthia Price in one cell, and you can see that spans across these 3 project numbers and goes across those 3 rows. So I could do those for Martha Rodriguez. Select all instances of her name, merge the cells, select all except one instance of her name, delete. Scott Collins, select all of his, merge cells, select all but one, delete. Timothy Adam, merge, select all but one, delete. And lastly, Wayne Smith, merge cells, select all but one, and delete. Look at how much easier and less, cluttered the table looks already. We have one listing of each of our project managers and then all of the projects that they are overseeing. Now, with the cursor in the cell of one of the names, in our alignment command group, we can actually change the text direction as well. So if I click this command button once, it now has Cynthia Price's name flowing down the right side of the cell. Now obviously it gets cut off because her name's a little long. I can hover over my dividing line here, click and drag, and you can see that gives it more room. So you can change the text direction that the text actually flows in the cell. Click it again. Now her name is going to flow up the left side. If I wanted her name on one line, I would need to make that cell a bit larger. But you can see how much extra space it gives for that last one. But you can change the text direction in there as well. So Martha Rodriguez, 1, 2. Maybe give her a little extra space for that letter Z to go on there. Voila. Scott, Timothy, and lastly, Wayne. And then once you play with the text direction, you can fix the alignment. Maybe you want it centered. Maybe you want it up towards the top. We could select all of them at once, center them. We can align bottom left. But you can, change the text direction and then work with the alignment as well. Okay, so you can see how much cleaner it looks. You don't like how it's flowing up? Just click the text direction button again to bring it back how it was. I think it looks, with a long name like that, I think it looks pretty clean just with the merged cells. All right, so you'll practice
this in your next activity, which is on page 9, activity 1-2.